Don't you feel like something fundamental has just shifted in the world? Like, no matter how relentlessly you work, that treadmill just keeps speeding up. You wake up, you commute, you put in the grueling hours, and yet, true financial freedom? It feels further away now than it ever has. Today, we're stepping out of the bright, blinding light of traditional financial advice, and we're looking directly into the shadows. In this explainer, we're going to uncover the genuinely unsettling reality of how the wealthy operate, because they are playing in an entirely different economic system than the rest of us. Have you noticed that in literally every economic crisis, the gap between you and the ultra-rich only continues to grow? It's a pattern, and it repeats with terrifying precision. We see inflation surge, we watch housing markets completely crash, we live through global pandemics, and while the middle class gets brutally squeezed and the poor are pushed even deeper into distress, the financial elite, they inexplicably get richer. And here's the thing, it is not an accident. It's not just luck. The rich survive and thrive because they play by a completely different set of hidden rules. They position themselves differently, they use money differently, and today we're going to look exactly at how they pull it off. So there's this grand duality in the modern economy, and it all begins with how you perceive a single dollar bill. Most of society is hardwired to work for money, right? The average worker trades their absolute most finite resource, their time, for a paycheck. But the fatal flaw here is simple. The second you stop working, the money stops flowing. But the wealthy? Oh, they don't do that. They engineer systems. They build assets, businesses, and investments, things that make their money work for them while they're fast asleep. It's this silent, incredibly powerful cycle where capital just produces more capital, completely divorced from the hours they spend awake. Section 1. Consumers versus wealthy owners. This massive divide really comes down to just one word: ownership. See, ordinary people, we exist primarily as consumers. We finance our cars, we pay those endless monthly subscriptions, we rent our homes, we buy the newest gadgets. But the wealthy? Their entire goal is to actually own the companies behind those very expenses. When millions of us swipe our credit cards, it's the owners and the shareholders who quietly capture the rewards. Think about a massive tech company for a second. The employees work incredibly hard for a set salary, but the founders and investors, they gain life-changing wealth from the exponential growth of the company's equity. They aren't working millions of hours a year, yet their assets are skyrocketing in value. Because at the end of the day, ownership is the true engine of wealth. Section 2. Time, patience, and leverage. Now, leverage is the secret mechanic the wealthy use to completely manipulate output. Think about it. A normal worker can only earn based on their own physical individual effort. There's a hard ceiling there. But a business owner who leverages, say, 100 employees or utilizes scalable software tools, they multiply their output by a factor of 100 or even more. They are literally using external tools, whether that's other people's money, technology, or networks, to utterly shatter the natural limits of human capacity. But here's the catch. Leverage requires a radically different relationship with time. The ultimate middle-class trap is being entirely defined by short-term survival. The immediate bills, the rent, the groceries, paying off those urgent debts. It is a highly stressful cycle, and it's measured in mere weeks and months. The wealthy, however, focus heavily on long-term positioning. They're thinking in years, decades even. By looking way over the horizon, they manage to avoid those emotional, panic-driven financial decisions that usually destroy capital. They position themselves early, and then they wait. And this divergence exposes one of the most terrifyingly powerful, silent forces in all of financial history: compound interest. Just look at the massive gap here between the consistent early investor and the late starter. The rich understand, deep down, that extreme patience consistently outpaces hard labor. True wealth is rarely created in a single blinding flash of luck. It's built slowly, relentlessly, through repeated strategic decisions that compound over 20 long years. Section 3. Technology multiplies the divide. And leverage, well, it's evolved at a truly terrifying pace. In previous generations, your income was tightly bound to your local economy. You could really only sell to the people in your immediate town. But then came global internet scale. Suddenly, one single person with a digital business or a media brand could reach millions worldwide with practically zero extra cost. And now we're entering the absolute wild west of AI automation. The sheer speed at which leverage is evolving right now is staggering. There is a very disturbing truth at play here. The modern economy rewards those who can scale, While traditional, physically demanding jobs are slowly, quietly losing their value, the people who actually own the AI platforms, the digital data, and the automated systems, they are preparing to accumulate unimaginable wealth. They're heavily investing in tomorrow's technology right now, while the average worker is sadly left totally unprepared for this massive transformation. Section 4. Taxes, Risk, and Networks. Perhaps the most glaring double standard in this entire system is taxation. The middle class is drained automatically. Think about it. Taxes are stripped directly from your paycheck before the money even touches your bank account. But wealthy individuals structure their income entirely differently. They use businesses, investments, and assets to create perfectly legal tax advantages. Through strategic corporate structures and an army of accountants and advisors, they completely shield their capital. This allows it to grow incredibly efficiently, instead of being continuously depleted year after year. The rest of their playbook relies on entirely invisible advantages. The wealthy prioritize raw financial literacy, truly understanding how money flows, over traditional academic prestige that really just teaches you how to be a good employee. And when they fail, they don't see it as a permanent defeat. They treat failure as crucial data. They also view risk in a completely opposite way. While the average person completely avoids risk and just lets inflation quietly eat away their savings, the rich take calculated risks specifically to outpace that inflation. Finally, they leverage incredibly powerful private networks. They intentionally surround themselves with ambitious people because the real insider opportunities and partnerships, those flow through relationships, not online job boards. And yet millions of people are kept from ever joining these ranks by the ultimate economic illusion, the consumer trap. Society is constantly pressuring the middle class into buying luxury goods, expensive cars, designer clothes, just to project a false sense of status. This creates the visual illusion of wealth, while systematically destroying the actual capital you need to build real wealth. True self-made millionaires understand this deeply. They spend carefully and they invest aggressively. They know the monumental difference between looking rich and actually being rich. Section 5. Escaping the traditional cycle. So how do we break out? Escaping this cycle requires 4 very actionable principles. Number 1, seek ownership. You've got to transition from a consumer to an owner wherever possible. Number 2, build scalable skills. Learn how to reach thousands or even millions rather than just trading 1 hour of your time for 1 hour of pay. Number 3, avoid destructive debt. Period. Stop financing liabilities that only lose value over time. And number 4, invest consistently. Let time and the magic of compound interest do all the heavy lifting for you. Even small, incremental improvements, repeated over years, will fundamentally transform your entire trajectory. Look at your own life right now, your own daily grind, and ask yourself honestly, are you just making money, or are you creating systems that actually produce value while you sleep? These hidden rules of wealth, they're rarely ever taught out in the open. But now that you've seen the mechanics working behind the curtain, you have a choice to make. Financial success isn't about how physically hard you work. It's about how intelligently you position yourself within the system itself. The game is happening all around you, right now. So how are you going to play it?